So the American dream now costs $5 million in the USA. I want to go over the cost, the breakdown of this, and also what Trump is up to because they're directly related. But this is your headline: American dream costs $5 million. Here's a breakdown. So what does this have to do with Trump? And why I mention it is because instead of helping regular Americans just live their lives, right? Live in peace, live in freedom, he's off enriching himself and hanging out with Israel. And this is what Fox News says today. Great honor. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced plans to award President Trump with the Israel Prize, the nation's highest cultural honor, saying, quote, "No American president has ever done more for Israel." Okay? This is what's going on Fox News Day. This was also going on in the White House. They tweet out, quote, "It's going to be awarded to President Donald J. Trump for his tremendous contributions to Israel and the Jewish people." And again, while all this is happening, your costs are soaring. If you want to have a decent life in USA, they say $5 million. Just want to make sure that's clear. Okay? And so then what Trump and his family are up to, they want to enrich themselves with these Israeli relationships. Ivanka Trump's husband presents $112.1 billion plan for beachside luxury resort on the ruins of Gaza. So instead of working hard to bring down costs for you, instead of working hard to help you with your American dream, which now costs $5 million, what are they doing? They're spending time, hey, how can we get those luxury resorts, golf courses, hotels, casinos in Gaza, right? Same kind of meetings with Russia. And basically what it is, it's Witkoff and Kushner. So I've told you guys several times. I just want to make it as clear as day what these people are interested in. Again, this is while your costs are soaring. Now, what's also going on, life in USA. This is on Christmas. This is a crazy story, but it just reflects what's going on in USA. Oklahoma man doing target practice in backyard, charged in fatal shooting of neighbor. And I know you guys are going to say, well, but Chris, this happens all the time in USA. Someone's always shooting someone, right? We don't need to talk about this stuff. That's just normal in USA. That's what people like to say, right? They don't care about this stuff. It's just normal for them. They just get used to it. Mass shootings, 398 shootings, right? As of November 30th, 2025. This is more than 4 people or more. So basically every day it happens in USA, yes. But this one's different than the mass shooting one. Okay, let me read the description of this one. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This is actually life in USA. A man in Oklahoma is facing manslaughter charge after he allegedly shot a woman several blocks from his home while firing a gun he got himself for Christmas at an energy drink can in his backyard. Okay, so just think about this. This guy, I think he's 33, goes to Walmart or wherever, buys a gun, brings it home. Oh my God, look at this. I got myself a gun for Christmas because, you know, if you're in Trumpy land and you love USA, right? Go America. Buy yourself a gun, set up an energy drink, right? I don't know. He's drinking Red Bull or whatever. He's doing some target practice. Misses. The bullet then goes through his yard and hits his neighbor. Kills them. Adam's backyard was not equipped to stop bullets from leaving the property and striking unsuspecting people in the surrounding area, according to authorities. Phelps, that's the person who got shot, killed, was sitting under a covered porch with the family on Christmas and holding a child in her arms when they heard gunshots north of the house, right? This is life in USA. And I have to point this stuff out because I know Fox ignores these stories. Right? They just want to say, oh, guys, your life is so terrible. It's all those black and brown people, yeah? And they'll ignore this story, right? They'll just focus on, hey, guys, Trump's getting an award. He's like the greatest guy ever, and he's helping out Israel and the Jewish people. Wow, fantastic. And look at this. Wow, they're building beachside luxury resorts. This is fantastic. $112 billion. And that's why you think about this. What if instead of like focusing on building luxury resorts in Gaza, what if they're like, hey, we're going to try to build affordable housing for Americans? Or hey, we're going to build better schools for everyone. Or hey, like we actually care about you. But no, they want to get Trump's all interested in his awards. I showed you guys in the last video, it looks like they're drinking and such. That's who these people are. It's absolutely insane. And then your costs are absolutely through the roof. And I want to go through this stuff because I knew it was expensive in USA, but $5 million when you add it all up. And I want to go over where these costs come from and talk about like how the Trump could actually help you if he cared about you. But of course he doesn't. But I'm saying what if, because there's going to be someone past Trump. So I know you can get a bit downer and how terrible Trump is and your neighbor shooting you, et cetera. But it doesn't mean it has to be like this forever. All right, people got to wake up and just pay attention to what's going on. So this is just what regular people want. These are just aspirations of regular people's lives, which I completely agree with. Retiring in comfort, right? So that's the number one thing that people want. Completely agree. Retiring in comfort. Affording quality healthcare, also completely agree. Like if you get sick, I don't want to get sick anymore. And I always tell my wife the same thing, exactly the same thing. Like every time you're not feeling good, anyone knows if you're not feeling good, you realize, man, my health is like the most important thing in the world. Seriously. Like anytime you ever feel sick and you're just like, for whatever reason, and like just imagine if that sickness feeling that you feel, be it pain in whatever part of your body or headache or whatever, imagine if that feeling never ended and you always felt like that and there was no solution. That's what some people feel if they can't afford healthcare. I mean, these are really important. Retiring in comfort, right? Just not having to stress out about like, where's my, meals going to come from, these things. Owning a home, right? Hey, this is my place. I can live here. I don't have to worry about anything. These are things to where people care about. Raising a family, being able to have kids, owning a car, going on vacation every year, caring for pets, having a wedding. So these are the kind of things that just regular people want. And if Trump people really cared about you, they would address these things. And these are the actual costs right now in USA. So the way they come up with this stuff, and I'll just go over a couple of them here, is basically over a lifetime. So when they say owning a car is $900,000, doesn't mean that you buy a car today and it costs $900,000. It means like over your whole life, how much you're going to pay to own a car. Pets, $39,000. Let's read some more description of this stuff. And, I just want to make it really clear, guys, like if Trump cared about you, he wouldn't be Bill and his, son-in-law, like his family members profiting off the presidency, and they just don't care about you. Like here's a quote here. You're definitely seeing a rise in prices pretty much across the board, especially for things like home ownership, raising kids, and sending them to college. And I just want to give you some examples. Like, so this is stuff that we're talking about that's expensive. So in some countries, like hey, you could actually make childcare affordable. You could even make it free if you wanted to, right? Same with college. You can make it affordable or free. And you say there's like, oh, no, you just got to work hard, right? You're just not working hard enough. And I just want you to think about their system. Because then when you look at the top, right, while Trump and Elon's, you just got to work hard, you're not working hard enough, they're then siphoning whatever policies and money to help them benefit their families. That's what they're thinking about. Here's more. It's kind of interesting. It's a different point of view. It's from Michael. He's the senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. He says, quote, I'm not sure we should equate the American dream with the lifestyle enjoyed by the top % of income earners. Okay. So this is kind of a joke here because this strain guy, he's just like, well, all these things that you may aspire to, be it, renting and, retiring in comfort, affording quality healthcare, owning a home. Well, that's just the top % of people. That, it's not really about that, right? And pets, right? Strain, the American dream is more about the sense of upward trajectory. Are you getting ahead? Are you doing better year after year? Are your kids doing better than you've done? And it just depends how you want to price this stuff and how you want to think about it. Here's the price of this stuff, okay? Owning pets. It's actually quite interesting when you look at these things. $39,000 to own pets. 2/3 of Americans have pets, and most of us consider our furry friends a key piece of the American dream. And guys, I agree. I like dogs and cats, and I'm always happy to see, neighbors out walking their dog and stuff like that. And I agree. That's part of happiness. Sure. The figure above represents lifetime cost of owning just one dog and one cat, including food and healthcare. And actually, the veterinarian is really expensive these days, and same with pet food. These are costs in USA. Here's other stuff. Home ownership, $957,000, and it's going to depend on the market you're in. It varies all over in USA, but that's the average. The figure reflects the average cost of buying a home and financing it with a 30-year fixed mortgage rate, okay, including interest, insurance, and property taxes. A year ago, Investopedia estimated the cost of a home ownership at $929,000. So basically, it keeps going up. Median price of a home is $415,000, right? But you got to include all the other costs associated with that. What else you got? Owning cars, and it's interesting how they come up with this stuff. The figure reflects the cost of buying and financing a new car every 10 years from ages 22 to 75 in a 2-car household. So you're going to pay $900,000 on car. And the car was an interesting one, and you could talk about the housing one as well. Because again, instead of if Trump were not concerned about, hey, let's build luxury resorts in Gaza, they could say, hey, let's figure out a way to get mass transit for everyone. So what if you remove car ownership completely from your life, right? Just think about that. Or what if work from home was more common in USA? Because these days, a lot of employers, they basically, it's kind of a backdoor way to fire you. They say, hey, you got to come work in the office. Got to come work in the office. You're like, wait, what do you mean? We had a work agreement that I could work from home, a few days a week. It's in my contract, right? But if you go from the Trumpy point of view, remember, Trump doesn't care about workers. He sides with big business. He's like, oh, well, forget about contracts. Just come to work because that's what everyone else is doing, right? So they'll figure out ways to fire you. But I'm just saying, guys, if we had a culture to where you could take mass transit, you could walk, you could bike, you could design cities in a different way to where you wouldn't need a car, just think how much that would save you in your life. And this is a big one. Cars are really, really costly. What else? Raising 2 kids in USA, okay? $876,000. The figure covers the cost of raising 2 children through age 18, then paying each to attend public college and in-state rates for 4 years, right? So college plus raising the kids. And again, I mentioned before, right? If the government really wanted to, instead of like putting all this money towards building luxury resorts in Gaza, why not make college affordable for people? Just think about this. And I did this a video a couple days ago. I asked people, around the world, be it Europe, Canada, otherwise, what's costs in your country? And people shared, right? And it was just like, dang, it's basically free around the world to go to college. And just think about that. That is a major cost in people's lives. So this is how your life could get better. Because sometimes people say, the MAGA people say, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. What are you offering for a solution? I'm literally telling you, like they could actually institute a system that is different than, what you have right now in USA, and your life would be a lot better. And then the MAGA people say, oh, but Chris, my life is great. I got a gun, right? That's why I show you the gun stuff. I don't want my neighbor shooting me. I think that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I want to hear from people around the world. Have you ever heard of something like this on Christmas Day? Did this happen in your country where some dude bought a gun, shot, shooting at energy drinks, misses, and hits his neighbor a couple blocks away? Healthcare, $414,000. In the past American Dream reports, Investopedia did include healthcare. It's a need, not a want, right? Americans need healthcare, but they want quality healthcare. Most survey respondents said access to quality healthcare is a part of the American dream. Again, I agree. Like you get sick, you fall down, whatever, right? Any number of things can happen. Being able to go to the doctor matters quite a lot. And I like I told you before, whenever I get sick or hurt myself, it's like you realize that your health is the most important thing. Seriously. Here's another one. Annual vacations. And I agree with this one. Everyone needs a rest and a break. I totally agree. Right? But this is what it costs. Annual vacation, $180,000. According to Investopedia survey, most Americans consider vacations a non-negotiable component of the American dream. The figure above represents one vacation a year, ages 22 to 85, assuming the average vacation costs $2,867. And you can say, well, Chris, how could Trump help with this kind of stuff? So this is actually real. You invest in public parks. You invest in public recreation. You invest in ways that help the mental health of the country. It actually really does help. If your country spends on things that you and your family can do for free or at very low cost, it actually helps the mental health of the country. And this is how you invest in your people. I feel very strongly about this, guys. It's hard to explain. I see the deterioration of USA like every day. I see what Trump is up to. I see what they're interested in. And I'll show you. They're interested in crypto. They say, oh, well, no, don't listen to that Chris guy, right? Just listen to us. We're going to get you all crypto and Trump coins. And so then they're involved, whatever scam here. It says crypto firm tied to Trump's acts as auditor and latest sign of strife. And I guess their auditor had some sort of licensing problem or something stupid. These are Trump people. Like I'll literally read it. It says Alt 5 Sigma Corp dismisses its auditor, Victor Mukulola, CPA, on Christmas Day, less than 3 weeks after hiring, according to regulatory filing. Great. The company had no disagreements with the Houston-based accounting firm, but its license to practice lapsed in August, meaning it was disqualified from vetting Alt 5's book. So that's the kind of people that they work for over at Trump, right? Their CPA doesn't even have a license to do their stupid crypto scam. And this is why your life doesn't get better in USA. I just want to make this clear because I know MAGA people that come in and they always come with some like random crap that they say on Fox News. And I just show you what it is. This is the cost, right? Can you afford that or not? That's the American dream. And this is what they're saying. Hey, guys, great. Trump's getting a prize from Israel, right? And your life in USA, you're going to get shot by your neighbor on Christmas Day because they like to play with guns. And I guess that means freedom in USA. So that's my thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours. And I'll catch you all in the next video.